Hello students, welcome to first year chemistry classes. In today's class, we are going to learn unit number 1, that is some basic concepts of chemistry. Basic is fundamental ಅಥವಾ ಮೂಲಭೂತ. Concepts are ಸಿದ್ಧಾಂತಗಳು ಅಥವಾ ಪರಿಕಲ್ಪನೆಗಳು. Chemistry is ರಸಾಯನಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ. First of all, let us see what is chemistry. Chemistry is the study of three things related to matter. Matter is dhatu. So in chemistry, we are going to study three things related to matter or dhatu. Now, which are those three things? First one is composition of matter. That is, what is matter composed of? Matter nalli ಏನೆಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ? Matter na ಘಟಕಗಳು ಯಾವುದು? So this is the first thing that we study in chemistry. The second aspect is the structure of matter. Structure ಅಥವಾ ಸಂರಚನೆ. The various components, they'll be arranged in a particular manner in matter. So that is studied under this heading. ಮ್ಯಾಟರ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಘಟಕಗಳು ಯಾವ ರೀತಿ ಜೋಡಣೆಯಾಗಿವೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಯುತ್ತೇವೆ. And the third aspect is properties of matter. Properties are nothing but characteristics. ಧಾತುವಿನ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕಲಿಯಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತವೆ. So this is the definition of chemistry ಅಥವಾ ರಸಾಯನಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ. We study composition, structure and properties of matter. The next question is, why should we study chemistry? Chemistry ಅನ್ನ ಯಾಕಾಗಿ ಅಭ್ಯಾಸ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Chemistry ಯ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆನ್ಸ್ ಏನು ಅಥವಾ ಅದರ ಮಹತ್ವ ಏನು? So this can be studied under the heading importance of chemistry. Here, there are two things to remember. One is, we should study chemistry because chemicals are used in our daily life. Where exactly they are used? ನಮ್ಮ ದಿನನಿತ್ಯದ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕಗಳನ್ನು ಬಳಸುತ್ತೇವೆ. The first field is a very important field, that is medicines. So in medicines we make use of many chemicals. Not only medicines, the food that we eat, ನಾವು ತಿನ್ನುವ ಆಹಾರ ಕೂಡ ತನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕಗಳನ್ನು ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. The soaps, the detergents, insecticides ಅಥವಾ ಕ್ರಿಮಿನಾಶಕಗಳು, fertilizers, ಗೊಬ್ಬರ, ಇವೆಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕಗಳಿಂದ ಆಗಿದೆ. So this is the first reason why we should study chemistry. Before going to the second aspect, let us study medicines in little more detail. There are two important chemicals. One is cisplatin, another is Taxol. These two play a very important role in the treatment of deadly disease cancer. ಈ ಎರಡು ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ಸರ್ ಥೆರಪಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬಳಸುತ್ತೇವೆ. ಸಿಸ್ಪ್ಲಾಟಿನ್ and taxol. One more chemical by name AZT, whose full form is azidothymidine. AZT, that is azidothymidine. This is used in the treatment of another deadly disease, that is AIDS. AIDS na treatment alli AZT ಬಳಕೆಯಾಗುತ್ತದೆ. So this is about medicines or drugs where chemicals find applications. Now let us go to the second aspect. Chemicals do not only have the uses, they are also responsible for environmental pollution. Chemicals cause environmental pollutions. ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕಗಳಿಂದ ಪರಿಸರ ಮಾಲಿನ್ಯವೂ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. What I want to say is, chemistry is a double-edged weapon. ಇದರಿಂದ ಯೂಸಸ್ ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ, at the same time ದುಷ್ಪರಿಣಾಮಗಳು ಕೂಡ ಇದೆ. So which chemicals cause pollution? Gases like carbon dioxide and methane, ಇಂಗಾಲದ ಡೈಆಕ್ಸೈಡ್ ಮತ್ತು methane. These are two important gases which are responsible for greenhouse effect. ಹಸಿರು ಮನೆ ಪರಿಣಾಮವನ್ನು ಈ ಅನಿಲಗಳು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತವೆ. Chlorofluorocarbons or CFCs, which are used in our refrigerators and air conditioners, these cause ozone depletion. ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವರಕ್ಷಕ ಪದರವಾಗಿರುವ ಓಝೋನ್ ಅನ್ನು ಇವು ರಂಧ್ರಗಳನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತವೆ. So if you want to reduce pollution, environmental pollution ಅನ್ನ, ಪರಿಸರ ಮಾಲಿನ್ಯವನ್ನ ತಡೆಗಟ್ಟಬೇಕು ಅಂತಾದರೆ, we should have the knowledge of these chemicals. ಈ ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಮಗೆ ತಿಳಿದಿರಲೇಬೇಕು. So that is why we should study chemistry. Now let us studying Now let us begin studying chemistry by taking the term matter. How do you define matter? ಧಾತುವಿನ ವ್ಯಾಖ್ಯಾನ ಏನು? Matter is anything that has mass ಅಥವಾ ದ್ರವ್ಯರಾಶಿ and occupies space ಅಥವಾ ಅವಕಾಶ. So in order to call an object matter, ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವನ್ನು ಧಾತು ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಬೇಕಾದರೆ, it has to satisfy these two conditions. One is, it should possess mass, ಅದು ದ್ರವ್ಯರಾಶಿಯನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಿರಬೇಕು, and it should occupy some finite amount of space. ಅವಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಒಂದಿಷ್ಟು ಜಾಗವನ್ನ ಅತಿಕ್ರಮಿಸಬೇಕು. I can give you the example of this chalk piece. This is a matter because it has some content, ದ್ರವ್ಯರಾಶಿ ಇದೆ. At the same time, it occupies so much of the space. ಇಷ್ಟು ಜಾಗವನ್ನು ಅದು ಅವಕಾಶದಲ್ಲಿ ಆಕ್ರಮಿಸ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. Not only this chalk, there are many examples for matter around us. Plants, animals, we the human beings are all examples for matter. In lower classes, you have studied that matter can exist in 3 physical states. ಧಾತು 3 ಭೌತಿಕ ಸ್ಥಿತಿಯನ್ನ ಹೊಂದಬಲ್ಲದು. Which are they? They are solids, ಘನವಸ್ತುಗಳು, liquids, ದ್ರವ, and the gases or gaseous state, anila ರೂಪ. You already know that solids have both definite volume and definite shape. ಘನವಸ್ತುಗಳಿಗೆ ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಗಾತ್ರ ಮತ್ತು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಆಕಾರ ಎರಡೂ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. Whereas liquids have only definite volume, ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಗಾತ್ರ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇದೆ, but they do not have definite shape. ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಆಕಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ. They take the shape of the container. ಯಾವ ಪಾತ್ರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೀವು liquids ಅನ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ತೀರೋ ಆ ಪಾತ್ರೆಯ ಆಕಾರವನ್ನ liquids ತಾಳುತ್ತವೆ. Gases have no definite shape, no definite volume. ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಗಾತ್ರವೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ವಾಲ್ಯೂಮ್ ಇಸ್ ಗಾತ್ರ, ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟ ಗಾತ್ರನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾದ ಆಕಾರ ಕೂಡ ಇಲ್ಲ. Gases can be compressed, volume reduces, gases can be expanded, volume increases, and they also take the shape of the container. Now, which are the examples? Chemical H2O can exist in all the 3 physical states. Ice is its solid state. The liquid state is called water, and the gaseous state of H2O is steam ಅಥವಾ ಹಬೆ, ಆವಿ. So this was about the 3 physical states of matter. Since there are many examples for matter, it would be easy if we classify them and then study them. So the next topic is classification of matter. ಧಾತುವಿನ ವರ್ಗೀಕರಣ. Which are the main classes of matter? Matter can be mainly classified into 2 types. First class is pure substances, ಶುದ್ಧ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು, and the second class is mixtures ಅಥವಾ ಮಿಶ್ರಣಗಳು. So these are the 2 main classes of matter: pure substances and mixtures. What exactly are the differences between these 2 types? Pure substances have in them only one component. So matter which is made up of only one component is termed as pure substance. ಶುದ್ಧ ವಸ್ತುಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಬರೀ ಒಂದು ಘಟಕ ಮಾತ್ರ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. I can give you the example of glucose. This is a pure substance. Any glucose sample will have only glucose particles, nothing else. I can give you another example, that is water. Water ಕೂಡ ಒಂದು ಶುದ್ಧ ವಸ್ತು. ನೀರಿನಲ್ಲಿ ನೀರಿನ ಕಣಗಳನ್ನು ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಯಾವುದು ಇರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. Then what are mixtures? Mixtures are those classes of matter which contain more than one component. At least there will be two components. ಕೊನೆಯ ಪಕ್ಷ ಎರಡು ಘಟಕಗಳಾದರೂ ಇರಬೇಕು. ಅಂತಹ ಸಂದರ್ಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಿಶ್ರಣ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯಬಹುದು. Which is the example? If I mix these two, that is glucose in water or solution of glucose in water, ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಮತ್ತು ನೀರನ್ನು ಮಿಶ್ರ ಮಾಡಿದಾಗ ಸಿಗುವಂಥದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಮಿಶ್ರಣ ಅಥವಾ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್. ಎರಡು ಘಟಕಗಳು ಇವೆ, ಒಂದು ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಮತ್ತೊಂದು ವಾಟರ್. ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಆಗಿ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಾಗ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟಾನ್ಸಸ್. ಇಫ್ ಯು ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ದೆಮ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಅ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಚರ್. A pure substance will have fixed composition. ಇದರ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಸೇಮ್ ಆಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ, ಅದು ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಫಾರ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ನೀವು ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡರೆ ಅದರ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ, ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ C6H12O6 ಇದೆ. ಒಂದು ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಇದ್ದು 6 ಕಾರ್ಬನ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್, 12 ಹೈಡ್ರೋಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಮತ್ತು 6 ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ ಆಟಮ್ಸ್ ಗಳನ್ನ ಒಳಗೊಂಡಿದೆ. ಈ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಅಥವಾ ಈ ರೇಷಿಯೋ 6:12:6 ಇದು ಹಾಗೆ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ನಿಂದ ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ಗೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ದಿಸ್ ರಿಮೈನ್ಸ್ ದ ಸೇಮ್. ವಿ ಸೇ ದೇ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್. ಬಟ್ if you take a mixture, the composition can change or composition is variable. ಘಟಕಗಳ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ಬದಲಾವಣೆಯಾಗಬಹುದು. ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀರಿನ ಪ್ರಮಾಣ ವೇರಿ ಆಗಬಹುದು. ಒಂದು ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಗ್ಲೂಕೋಸ್, ತುಂಬಾ ನೀರು ಇದ್ದರೆ, ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಸೊಲ್ಯೂಷನ್, one more mixture if you take, you can add little more glucose to it, so the composition can vary or the composition can change. Third point of difference is constituent particles of pure substances. Glucose anna ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡರೆ ಅದರ constituent particles are the atoms, carbon, hydrogen, oxygen atoms. So these constituent particles cannot be so easily separated. ಅಷ್ಟು ಸುಲಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲು ಬರುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. ಈ ಆಟಮ್ಗಳ ನಡುವೆ ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಬಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕ ಬಂಧಗಳು ಇರುತ್ತವೆ. ಸೊ ಸಪರೇಷನ್ ಇಸ್ ಡಿಫಿಕಲ್ಟ್. ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ನಿಂದ ಅಥವಾ ಈಸಿ ಮೆಥಡ್ಸ್ ನಿಂದ ಸಪರೇಷನ್ ಕಷ್ಟ. You cannot make use of physical methods. But in mixtures, that is not the case. Constituents, which are the constituents here? Glucose and water molecules. So these constituents can be very easily separated. You can use physical methods like filtration, crystallization, etc. if you take the example of sand in water, you can separate sand and water from each other by filtration. ಸೋಸುವಿಕೆಯ ಮೂಲಕ ಸ್ಯಾಂಡ್ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀರನ್ನ ಬಹಳ ಸುಲಭದಲ್ಲಿ ಸಪರೇಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. So that is about the main classification of matter. Now let us take up pure substances and let us subclassify them. ಶುದ್ಧ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮತ್ತೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಫೈ ಮಾಡಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿದೆ. So which are the classes of or subclasses of pure substances? The subclasses of pure substances are elements, ಮೂಲವಸ್ತುಗಳು ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, and the other class is compounds, ಸಂಯುಕ್ತ ವಸ್ತುಗಳು. Pure substance is a main class and elements, compounds are its two subclasses. What is an element? ಮೂಲವಸ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು? These are those pure substances which contain only one type of atoms. Not one atom, it is one type of atoms. So, element nalli, ಮೂಲವಸ್ತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದೇ ಬಗೆಯ ಪರಮಾಣುಗಳು ಇರುತ್ತವೆ. These atoms can be either present singly, they can be single. Example is sodium atoms. ಅವು ಬಿಡಿ ಬಿಡಿಯಾಗಿ ಇರುತ್ತವೆ ಸೋಡಿಯಂನ ಸ್ಯಾಂಪಲ್ನಲ್ಲಿ. So atoms of elements can be single like sodium, or these atoms can be bonded to form a molecule. ಈ ಪರಮಾಣುಗಳು ಒಂದೇ ಬಗೆಯ ಪರಮಾಣುಗಳು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಬಾಂಡ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂಧವಾಗಿ ಅಣುವನ್ನು ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡಬಹುದು. ಎರಡು ಸಾಧ್ಯತೆ ಇದೆ. They can be single or they can be bonded. Example for this, that is bonded form of element, is oxygen molecule. Oxygen atomಗಳು, ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ನ ಪರಮಾಣುಗಳು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಒಟ್ಟು ಸೇರಿ ಆಕ್ಸಿಜನ್ನಿನ ಮಾಲಿಕ್ಯೂಲ್ ಅನ್ನು ಅಥವಾ ಅಣುವನ್ನ ಕೊಡುತ್ತವೆ. But remember one thing, there should be only one type of atoms or same type of atoms. But if you consider a compound, the atoms present are all different. Different types of atoms will be present here, and they will be bonded always to form molecules. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ತರದ ಪರಮಾಣುಗಳು ಒಟ್ಟು ಸೇರಿ ಅಣುಗಳನ್ನ ಉಂಟು ಮಾಡುತ್ತವೆ ಸಂಯುಕ್ತ ವಸ್ತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ. So what is important is atoms are all of different types. What is the example for this? We have many examples. Water is an example. Water has two different atoms, hydrogen and oxygen. They are bonded to give H2O molecule. You can also take the example of glucose. Glucose has 6 carbons, 12 hydrogen atoms and 6 oxygen atoms bonded to form a molecule. So these are the two subclasses of elements and of pure substances. They are elements and compounds. Like pure substances, even mixtures can be further divided. Which are the classes of mixtures? The two subclasses of mixtures are homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. Homo means the same, hetero is different. So what is same here? Here the composition is same or uniform, or in other words, components of this mixture mix uniformly with each other. So, in a homogeneous mixture, ಈ ಬಗೆಯ ಮಿಶ್ರಣದಲ್ಲಿ ಘಟಕಗಳು ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಸರಿಸಮವಾಗಿ ಮಿಶ್ರವಾಗುತ್ತವೆ. So, if you look at the mixture after mixing ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಆದ ನಂತರ ನೀವು ಮಿಶ್ರಣವನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದರೆ, you cannot identify different components. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಘಟಕಗಳು ಇರುವುದೇ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. Example is salt in water or sugar in water, glucose in water. So these are all examples for homogeneous mixtures. Once you mix these two components, it looks exactly like water. You cannot identify salt and water separately. Whereas in a heterogeneous mixture, components do not mix uniformly, or I can say they do not mix completely with each other. Their composition will not be uniform throughout. Here you can identify different components. ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಘಟಕಗಳನ್ನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಗುರುತಿಸಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರುತ್ತದೆ. Example is sand in water. ಮರಳನ್ನು ನೀರಿಗೆ ಹಾಕಿದಾಗ ನಮಗೆ ಈ ಬಗೆಯ ಮಿಶ್ರಣವು ನೋಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಸಿಗುತ್ತದೆ. So these are the classes of mixtures: homogeneous mixture and heterogeneous mixture. So with this we have completed the classification of matter. You know that the two main classes are pure substances and compounds. Mixtures. Pure substances can be further classified into elements and compounds, and mixtures are subdivided into homogeneous and heterogeneous mixtures. After this, now let us take up the properties of matter. Matter na ವರ್ಗೀಕರಣದ ನಂತರ ಇದೀಗ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳ ಕಡೆಗೆ ಗಮನ ಹರಿಸೋಣ. Even the properties are classified, and the two classes are physical properties ಭೌತಿಕ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳು and chemical properties, ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣ. What are physical properties? When you measure a property or when you observe a property, if the matter does not change its composition, then such a property is called physical. ಒಂದು ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣವನ್ನ ನೀವು ಅಳೆಯುವಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ಅಳೆಯಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲದ ಪಕ್ಷದಲ್ಲಿ ಅದನ್ನ ಗಮನಿಸುವಾಗ ಧಾತುವಿನ ಫಾರ್ಮುಲಾ, ಕೆಮಿಕಲ್ ಕಾಂಪೋಸಿಷನ್ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗದೆ ಹೋದರೆ we call it physical property. So I'll write here no change in chemical composition. Example that I'll be giving is that of color. Color athwa banna. When you observe the color of this chalk piece, which is white, nothing happens to the chalk piece. Chalk remains as such. Adara rasayanika composition, chemical composition, badalavane agodilla. Chalk hageye uliyuttade. So color is a physical property. Not only color, even smell, or in chemistry we term it as odor. So this is also physical. When you inhale the smell, nothing happens to the substance remains as such. Length is a physical property. When you measure the length of this board, which is say around 2 meters, nothing happens to the board. Board is intact. Board ಹಾಗೆಯೇ ಇರುತ್ತದೆ. ಯಾವುದೇ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. So these are all physical properties. But when you observe a property or when you measure a property, if there is a change in chemical composition, or in other words, if there is a chemical reaction, ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕ ಕ್ರಿಯೆ ನಡೆದರೆ ಅಥವಾ ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕ ಸಂಯೋಜನೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಹೊಂದಿದರೆ, then such property can be called chemical. ಯಾವುದೇ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿಯನ್ನು ಅಳೆಯುವಾಗ ಅಥವಾ ಗಮನಿಸುವಾಗ ಅದರ ರಾಸಾಯನಿಕ ಸಂಯೋಜನೆ ಬದಲಾದರೆ we call it chemical. Good examples are combustibility. Combustibility is dahana samarthya athava burning capacity. So in order to find out this, you need to burn the substance. For example, if you take paper and burn it, the composition of paper changes. It becomes black soot or black carbon. Paper iddadu carbon nagi ಪರಿವರ್ತನೆ ಹೊಂದುತ್ತದೆ. So combustibility or burning capacity is a chemical property. Not only this, acidity, ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಆಮ್ಲೀಯತೆ, basicity, ಪ್ರತ್ಯಾಮ್ಲೀಯತೆ, ಇವುಗಳನ್ನು ಫೈಂಡ್ ಔಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ you have to carry out chemical reactions. Acidityಯನ್ನು measure ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ you have to carry out the reaction with acids, and basicity of a substance can be determined by treating the substance with bases. Then the chemical reactions take place and the original composition, ಧಾತುವಿನ ಮೂಲ ಸಂಯೋಜನೆ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಹೊಂದಿ ಹೊಸ ವಸ್ತು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಉತ್ಪಾದನೆ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. So these are examples for chemical properties. Let me come back to length. I already told you, not all the properties are measurable. ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಪ್ರಾಪರ್ಟಿಗಳನ್ನು ಮೆಜರ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗುವುದಿಲ್ಲ, ಅಳೆಯಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿಲ್ಲ. But length can be measured. Color cannot be measured. You can just note it. ಅದನ್ನು ಗಮನಿಸಬಹುದು. ಅಳೆಯಲು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನೂ ಇಲ್ಲ. But length can be measured. ಉದ್ದವನ್ನು ಅಳೆಯಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿದೆ. Not only length, there are other examples. Mass, ದ್ರವ್ಯರಾಶಿ, this can also be measured. ಇದನ್ನು ಕೂಡ ಅಳೆಯಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿದೆ. And such properties which can be measured are called quantities. ಯಾವ ಗುಣಲಕ್ಷಣಗಳನ್ನು ನೀವು ಅಳೆಯಲು ಸಾಧ್ಯವಿದೆಯೋ ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಕರೆಯಬಹುದು, ಪರಿಮಾಣಗಳು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಬಹುದು. So our next topic is physical quantities. Which are the examples? Length, mass, all these are examples for physical quantities. In fact, there are many such quantities. Some have been derived from other quantities. So, the quantities which are responsible for giving derived quantities are called basic quantities, basic physical quantities. These are the simplest ones, and they further give rise to derived quantities. ಈ ಪರಿಮಾಣಗಳು ಮುಂದೆ ಪರಸ್ಪರ ಒಟ್ಟುಗೂಡಿ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಹೊಸ ಪರಿಮಾಣಗಳನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತವೆ. ಅವುಗಳನ್ನು ಡಿರೈವ್ಡ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ಬಟ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಲೆಟ್ ಅಸ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿ ದೀಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಫಂಡಮೆಂಟಲ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಮೂಲಭೂತ ಪರಿಮಾಣಗಳು. There are actually 7 such quantities. Which are those? 2 of the quantities you have already studied as examples, length and mass. Third one is time, samaya. Fourth is temperature, ushnate. Fifth one is electric current, vidyut pravaha. Sixth one is amount of substance, ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ರಾಶಿ. And the last one is luminous intensity, ಬೆಳಕಿನ ತೀಕ್ಷ್ಣತೆ. So these are the 7 basic or fundamental physical quantities. ಇವುಗಳು ಮುಂದುವರಿದು ನಮಗೆ ಇನ್ನೂ ಕೆಲವು derived quantities ಅನ್ನು ಕೊಡುತ್ತವೆ. Now before going to derived quantities, let us see their units. A system called international system, ಒಂದು ಅಂತಾರಾಷ್ಟ್ರೀಯ ವ್ಯವಸ್ಥೆ ಇದು. It has given units for these physical quantities, and those units are called SI units, International System of Units, or SI units. Now, which are those units? See, whenever you measure a quantity, along with the value, you also place a unit. For example, length of the board. You do not just say 2, you say 2 meter. Or length of the chalk piece is measured in centimeters. So these are actually the units. This is a number, this is a unit. Length has got many units, meter, centimeter, millimeter, but International System of Units has accepted meter as the SI unit. The symbol of meter is small m. So this is the SI unit of length. Then what are the units of mass? Mass has got many units like kg, gram, ton. For small masses, milligram. But SI unit of mass is kilogram, or kg is the symbol. Small k, small g. Similarly, time also has many units: days, hours, minutes. SI unit is second. Small s is the symbol. Temperature ಅಥವಾ ಉಷ್ಣತೆ ಕೂಡ ಅನೇಕ ಯೂನಿಟ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಹೊಂದಿದೆ. ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಫ್ಯಾರನ್ಹೀಟ್, ಡಿಗ್ರಿ ಸೆಲ್ಸಿಯಸ್, ಕೆಲ್ವಿನ್. And SI unit among them is Kelvin. symbol is capital K. Small k in kilogram, capital K in Kelvin. Coming to current, Vidyutina Pravaha, the SI unit of this is ampere, capital A. Amount of substance, Vastuvina Rashi, is measured in terms of mole, whose symbol is MOL, and luminous intensity, ಅಥವಾ ಬೆಳಕಿನ ತೀಕ್ಷ್ಣತೆ, this is measured in candela. Small c, small d is the symbol. So this is an important topic wherein you have studied 7 basic physical quantities and their SI units. These SI units, remember, can also be called base units. You can also call them base units because they are the units of basic quantities. Okay. One of the 7 physical quantities that you study is mass, or in Kannada it can be called Dravya Rashi. There is a very similar quantity called weight or tuka. Both of them have the same SI units, kilogram or kg. But there is a slight difference between the two, and now let us see that exact difference. You know that mass is amount of matter present in the substance. ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇರುವ ಧಾತುವಿನ ರಾಶಿ, that can be called mass. But weight depends on gravity. It is actually the force, the gravitational force, Gurutvakarshana Bala, exerted by or exerted on the substance. ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಿನ ಮೇಲೆ ಗುರುತ್ವಾಕರ್ಷಣ ಬಲ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇದೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ತೂಕ ಎಂದು ಕರೆಯಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತೆ. ಒಂದು ವಸ್ತುವಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಧಾತುವಿನ ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಅಥವಾ ರಾಶಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇದೆ ಅದು ದ್ರವ್ಯ ರಾಶಿ ಎಂದು ಹೇಳಲ್ಪಡುತ್ತೆ. So this is the exact difference of mass and weight, though sometimes we use mass in the place of weight and weight in the place of mass. Based on this particular statement, I can give you one more difference, and that is mass is constant in all the places. It does not change from place to place. Even if you go to moon or the stars, your mass remains the same. ಚಂದ್ರನ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಥವಾ ನಕ್ಷತ್ರಗಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಕೂಡ ನಿಮ್ಮ ದ್ರವ್ಯ ರಾಶಿ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ಯಾವುದೇ ದ್ರವ್ಯ ರಾಶಿ ಬದಲಾವಣೆ ಹೊಂದುವುದಿಲ್ಲ. But the weight is not like that. It changes from place to place because the gravity changes from place to place. As the gravitational force changes, weight also changes. So if you go to moon, though your mass is the same, your weight is different. In fact, your weight is less. ಚಂದ್ರನ ಮೇಲೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಾಸ್ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲಿನದ್ದೇ ಆದರೂ weight ಮಾತ್ರ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. In fact, on the moon, the gravitational force is 6 times less than on the earth. ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲಿನದಕ್ಕಿಂತ 6 ಪಟ್ಟು ಗ್ರಾವಿಟಿ ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇದೆ, ಹಾಗಾಗಿ ವೆಯ್ಟ್ ಕೂಡ 6 ಪಟ್ಟು ಕಡಿಮೆ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ನಿಮ್ಮ ತೂಕ ಭೂಮಿಯ ಮೇಲೆ 60 kg ಆದರೆ ಮೂನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಚಂದ್ರನಲ್ಲಿ it will be only 10 kg. So mass is the same in all the places, but weight changes from place to place depending on the gravitational force. Okay. So in today's class, what all things we studied? We started with chemistry. We studied its importance. Then we came to matter. We saw the physical states of matter. We classified matter. Also, we studied the physical and chemical properties of matter. Physical quantities and their SI units were learned. And differences between mass and weight were